Hello there, Internet. How are you doing? Welcome to another episode of Renegades React. Today we are doing another soiree. This is into the macabre and the unknown and the sometimes scary. The deep web. I have taken one trip to the deep web, and to me that was one trip too many. Now,
So on that note, we're about to go balls deep into it again.
Oh, God. And, okay. This one was suggested. This was the 3 Disturbing Deep Web Stories by Mr. Nightmare. Now, the deep web, I don't want to go back there. I never will, but I've heard other people's experiences, and some of them are good, some of them are bad.
Most of them are bad.
Most of them. Okay, yeah. Re-insinuate that. Most of them were bad.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were good. You know, they went in there for drugs or guns and, and all that.
Or just they have a disturbing kind of side to them, or
yeah.
What's it called? They have a fascination with the dark side, kind of.
Yeah, they have a fascination with the unknown and the macabre and the weird,
which we all kind of do. We all are kind of. Interested in that.
It's just like why do people watch horror movies?
Yeah. It's the same thing, and I think it's partly because we all have that little bit of darkness in all of us, kind of.
Yeah, and it's up to us to fight it sometimes, I believe.
Yeah, and we also just I think the darkness is mysterious too, because you're not exactly sure what kind of things are out there.
Well, you see, the things that we can see don't scare us that much. It's the things that we can't see. It's the unknown. It's the things that are still in the shadows. Yeah. That we're afraid of because they're the unknown, and we don't know what the unknown can do to us.
Yeah, and that's
shocking. That is the scariest thing. Yeah. I mean, the fear of the unknown drives so many people insane, and
sells movie tickets like hotcakes.
Oh, it does. It does. It sells them like nobody's business. But we have a video queued up here. Mr. Nightmare's 3 Disturbing Deep Web Stories. Against my better judgment, let's give it a watch.
Let's jump in.
Music doesn't help.
Yeah, I was about to say, warms us right up there. Oh, and let's buy a luxury purse.
Searching the deep web one time.
Oh,
I saw on Reddit some people were talking about this thing called Tor that allows you to search the deep web.
Oh, he's going to leave that up the whole time.
It was basically a post asking for the strangest things people have come across on the deep web.
Yeah.
It intrigued me.
That face isn't going to haunt me for the rest of the night.
So I went along and downloaded Tor. Someone on Reddit posted a link to a basically hidden wiki with a bunch of useful links to the dark web.
Actually, it's before Labor Day.
I was shocked at how many child pornography links there were. I did my best to steer clear of anything like that.
Yeah.
I did come across a link that took me to another page with a bunch of links, called the Black Pages. The page was black with a bunch of red and yellow links. Sense. The red pages seemed to be the strangest.
It was the blacklist.
There was one link called Personal
Starring
Assassin,
James Spader,
and another called Dead Pets.
Oh.
Reading some of those links, I realized how messed up this whole deep web thing really was. I clicked the yellow link and ended up at yet another page full of links.
It's still there.
I found something that seemed interesting.
Why?
It was called the Secret Society chat.
Okay,
I clicked on the link, and it took even longer than all the other pages took to load. I'd say I stared at a blank white screen for a good minute before the page finally turned black and a chat box popped up.
Ooh.
Next to the chat box was a black video screen. I wish that I had just clicked the back button at that point, but instead, I typed "hey" in the chat box.
I went.
What happened next was weird. Someone wearing a mask sitting in a dark room popped up on the screen. I felt like my heart stopped when I saw my face pop up on the screen as well.
Oh shit.
The website was using my webcam even though I naturally keep it off.
Yeah.
I covered it with my thumb and tried to close the page, but at this point my taskbar was gone, along with the minimize and exit buttons at the top of the Tor window.
Ooh, shit.
I tried hitting Control-Alt-Delete, but it did nothing. And then there was a muffled, distorted voice coming from my speakers.
Control-Alt-Delete fixes everything.
I could only assume it was the guy in the mask speaking.
There's no way.
He was masking his voice with some kind of voice changer. I clearly remember he said,
"I still see you, James."
My heart sank.
Woo!
He had said my name.
Gives you chills, man.
Oh,
I began holding the power button on my laptop,
Look at my
and it
heart.
felt like an eternity before it finally cut power.
Like on point.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I should report what
kidding.
happened to the police.
Like the Himalayas.
But from what I knew, everything was anonymous with Tor, so it didn't even seem
That's the
real.
Alps.
Oh yeah.
It was obviously just a low-life hacker. I went on with my life after deleting the Tor browser from my computer.
That's a
But
start.
about 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
my mom threw a letter in my room. She told me it came in the mail for me.
Oh Lord.
There was no return address on it. I ripped the letter open
He knows
and
how to build
unfolded the
suspense,
paper
man.
tucked inside. In huge letters that filled the paper were the 3 words, "Don't come back." I felt like I was going to throw up from the sickening feeling it gave me.
Yeah.
I crumpled up the paper and threw it away.
Jeez, man.
I didn't call the cops as it seemed pointless, and I didn't tell my mom because it would only cause her to panic. But I have no idea.
So I decided
how
to tell
or why
everybody
they got my
else.
address.
Yeah.
Because
My
that.
worst
Oh my
experience on
God.
tour
That-
was
I'm surprised
stumbling
they didn't
upon a
send like
horrific,
a
sickening
a
page
dead
called
rabbit to his
Human
door or something like that,
Experiments.
man.
Yeah.
Phew.
I don't remember where exactly I found
Scary
it.
stuff.
It was buried deep somewhere in a link archive page. The homepage described the content on the site.
Oh my God,
I
no.
was distraught at what I was reading.
Oh my God.
It said in a red, bloody
Oh,
font,
these
the experiments conducted for this website are to prove that not all humans are born equal.
Oh man.
The people chosen
Yeah,
to be
you had me at
experimented on were
experiments.
usually
Oh,
homeless,
God.
but also the unfortunate souls that happen to get caught by these sick fucks.
We might want
These
to have
so-called
barf bags next
experiments
time, man.
ranged from starvation and water
Might
restriction,
have them just,
reactions to
on deck.
extreme pain and torture, infections and diseases, and even infant tolerances to x-rays, pain, and heat.
Oh my God.
I had seen
That's
all those
sick,
horrific
man.
shock videos like 3 Guys, 1 Hammer, so I thought I would be prepared for what I was
No,
going
Yeah,
to see.
yeah, but that's
But I
different.
wasn't.
That's-
BME Pain
that's
Olympics
I
was
made
different.
the
another
mistake
one.
of clicking on the first link to the experiment photos.
Oh god.
I honestly
Taking a
had
flash
to
one?
retain the urge to puke. I
Okay,
don't
it's
want
not
to
gonna
even
flash,
give a
okay.
description of what I saw, but I'll just say there were innocent victims, people just like you and I, going through horrible, horrible things that nobody should ever go through. Against my better judgment, I scrolled the entire page, and it only got worse.
Why do that to yourself, man? Why?
Pretty soon, a whole section dedicated to infants and toddlers came up.
Oh.
I had somehow made it to the bottom of the page,
Oh,
and then
man.
a little box popped up on the screen. I didn't know what it was until a line of text popped up.
It was
The text said,
changed to
"Did
Windows
you
10.
enjoy the site?"
Oh,
I
man.
realized it was a chat box. I typed, "Who is this?" The stranger promptly replied, evading my question by saying, "What was your favorite part of the site?" I asked the same question again. This time he actually acknowledged my question and told me he was the site owner. I told him that this was sick and inhumane, and that I would report the site
Oh, you idiot.
immediately. That was my biggest mistake, telling
Yeah.
him that, because after a short pause, he finally said, I see your name is Michael, and you live in Massachusetts."
Oh my God.
He was
I
right.
see you like
But
to
instead
play
of clicking out of that browser
what
right
was it?
away,
Castlevania.
typed in,
Castlevania.
"No, you're wrong."
Jesus.
About 10 seconds later, he typed something that made my heart feel like it shriveled up. And that was my address. My complete, correct home address.
Oh God.
His
Boy.
final words were, "Have a nice day."
God.
I closed the browser and slammed
Idiot.
my laptop shut. I called the police first thing before even telling my parents. When the cops got to our house, I explained everything to everyone at once. They wanted to see my computer since I didn't remember the link to the website. Unfortunately, the Tor
Tor.
browser doesn't save your browsing history, so I couldn't even help them in shutting down this website. The cops told us that if what I said was true, that we should find another place to stay as soon as possible.
No shit.
Thankfully, this was
seriously.
around the time that we were looking to move away anyway. I couldn't believe how fast my parents were able to sell the house and find another. I apologized to them every day for a month after this happened.
Dang.
I hated to have to make them go through this all. I liked to think the guy in the chat was just bluffing, but I couldn't take the chance.
Who could?
I don't
Yeah,
think anybody
man,
should
that's
ever
messed
look
up.
into the deep web, as there is no good to
I would
come
have
of
been
it.
scared shitless, man. Oh, God.
Jesus. That's just number 2.
Just like on the off chance that he's
there used to be a website on the
not a
dark
serial
web called the
murderer.
Silk Road.
Yeah, Silk
Stay
Road.
here.
It was an
That one I've seen
underground
it.
illegal
Road,
drug
yeah.
marketplace.
This is the one
I
like
had heard
that's
about
really
it through
like
friends that
well
had used
known.
it.
Yeah.
Our weed dealer was moving out of state, and he was our only connection. So my friends started using this website and claimed that it was legit. The timing couldn't be better to score some pot, since my parents were in Atlantic City for the weekend. I downloaded the Tor browser and checked it out. The biggest seller on the site was cannabis, of course. I left a comment on one of the newer listings asking for anybody to tell me if the listing was legit. I came back to the site about an hour later, and I had one new message. It was from a user named Illy B. He saw my comment and offered to sell me an ounce for a really low price, but he only does local. I've done local deals before, and I've never really had a problem with them, so I told him that I was in Washington. Turned out he lived only about an hour away from me.
Convenient.
I suggested we meet halfway, but shockingly, he said he would just meet me in my hometown. I couldn't turn down that offer.
Swell guy.
He said he would be over after
This one's
work
not so
around
bad.
9 o'clock. I told him to meet me in the Wendy's parking lot. He asked me a bunch of weird questions like my address, who I live with. I definitely didn't want to give my address to a pot dealer, and I lied and told him I lived alone. A little bit later, he texted me telling me he found a much better place to do the deal. It was behind an old closed-down retail store at the edge of town. My sketchiness alarm was going off, but I was so desperate to get that grass. I knew exactly where that building was.
Weed ain't worth your life,
I drove
brother.
over and got there within 5 minutes.
I don't know. How good is the weed, though?
I parked the car behind the building, but couldn't see anyone else
THC
there.
level of 70.
Then I got
don't
a
know.
text
I
saying
mean, if
he was
that
on
stuff
his
is
way.
loud, then yeah, I don't know,
That
man.
made no sense, because
I'm just
if you
messing with
lived
you,
an hour away, how would
not
you
worth your
know
life,
of this
guys.
place? I sat there for like 20 minutes trying to get another response from him, but he never answered.
Uh-oh.
I decided to just give it up. I had a feeling something sketchy was going on and that I should just leave while I still could.
You think?
It took
Yeah,
me
follow
10
that
minutes to
instinct.
get back home. My front door was open. I knew I had shut it, so I was worried that my parents had gotten home early. I parked my car in the driveway since my dad didn't take it and went back inside. The light upstairs in my parents' bedroom was on, and I heard some kind of shuffling noise. I shouted Mom and Dad, and the noises stopped. The door to the room slammed shut, and I knew something was wrong. My dad's car wasn't even in
911.
sight,
Yep.
and now he's not answering.
I would have called.
It took
I
me
would
long enough to
actually. I would have
realize
run.
that
That's what I would have
whoever
done
was in
first.
there wasn't either one of my parents.
911, brother.
Since I'm a straight-up idiot, I grabbed a carving knife from the kitchen and charged upstairs to my
oh,
parents'
you idiot,
room.
you idiot, you idiot.
No, don't be
I
a hero.
practically almost broke down the door after slamming it open. I didn't see anyone, but I right away picked up on the fact that my mom's jewelry case was opened. I grabbed the phone in my parents' room and called 911,
Finally.
but something grabbed me from under the bed.
Oh.
I used the knife in my hand to stab their arm, and the man under the bed began to scream in agony. Since it was a corded phone, I couldn't leave the room with it. All I had time to tell the police was that someone broke into my house, and then gave them my address. The man crawled out from under the bed with the knife still in his arm. He didn't even look at me. He just ran straight for the front door into his car. The best I could describe him was that he was a black man with a backwards hat and raggy clothing, and he drove a black Honda Accord. Of course, I couldn't tell the police much. I couldn't bring up the website, as it was illegal to use it. All I could do was describe him to the best of my ability.
All
So
I could
he's still out there
wait
home
7
free.
years later and tell the
I
internet.
can only guess he got my address by hacking me somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I must say, that's never happened to me before. And I thought whenever Gmail took 5 seconds longer to load, that I had it bad. You know? Damn.
Jeez, dude.
That's pretty rough, man. My God.
Screw the deep web.
Yeah, I mean, looks like he had multiple experiences and none of them.
No. It's 3 different stories from 3 different people.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not him.
Gotcha. He's just reading them. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy that shit actually happens, you know?
Yeah,
And on the regular, too. Like weird, sketchy ass shit like that.
yeah, the deep web, dude, is something I really have no interest in anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll stick to my cat videos.
Yeah, I did my exploring. I did that, and nothing good came out of it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm not about to go back.
Yeah, on the real, man. I mean, that stuff, you don't want to travel with that. You don't want to, like, have to stab somebody.
I don't want none.
Like that. I want none. I don't want none.
I don't want none of it. Jeez. Man.
So, yeah, some scary stuff, man. Some really scary stuff.
I was going to say, the scariest moment I ever had was I was living in an apartment building. Mm-hmm. And, my apartment, it was a single floor thing, and there were three apartments. Mm-hmm. I was in the middle bedroom of the apartment that I was living in.
Yeah.
I come up to the front door, and the front door's open. It's like nothing's wrong. Probably nothing wrong. Probably my roommates. You know, one of my roommates is a bit of a pothead. So
all normal so far.
Yeah, and I always lock the door to my room, because, pretty sketchy part of town. Mm-hmm. Didn't trust it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
My door was kicked open.
Real bad sign.
And
forced entry is a bad sign, guys.
And I rushed into my room, not thinking. And I look, and all my stuff's gone. My TV, my Xbox, my PlayStation, my laptop, both my cameras, all gone. And next thing you know, I'm inside my room, and I'm like, I get my phone out and everything, and I start dialing 911. As soon as I start dialing 911, someone runs past the room in the doorway.
Still there.
And I see him.
God.
And I'm like, I run out there, and all of a sudden I run out there, and he bolts out the door, and he runs around the other side of the place, hops in a car, and they peel off. And
oh, man.
I didn't get the license plate number because it was dark.
Mm-hmm.
There were no street lights on that street.
Yeah, so they just dipped out real fast.
And I was going to say, it's one of the scariest moments of my life, dude. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I have no way to compare to what the guy at number 1 went through. Mm-hmm. I mean, actually having to stab the guy in the arm.
Yeah, no kidding.
But, jeez.
And the other person happened to move and stuff. I mean, these are some scary stuff, man.
It is scary. It's a scary thought.
Rough, man. Really rough.
But
So yeah, I don't have anything comparable to that. My worst experience on the internet had to be, clicking on my first Ray William Johnson video. But so I can't really don't have a good comparison or anything. But yeah, I do empathize with these people because they seem to be, doing pretty innocent stuff. I mean, hanging out on the dark web isn't 100% innocent, but they weren't trying to, hurt people or anything like that. And
the guy at number 2, he willingly went through that website with all those people getting mutilated and experimented on and everything.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't think he was doing it because he's like, oh, I am interested in doing this to somebody in the future, So these people are pretty okay people, I think. And for them to have to go through this stuff, it's just like, damn, man. Just ruins people's lives for no reason.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, I don't trifle, man. I don't want that. Oh, spank you.
All right. So, guys, what did you think of this? I mean, do you all have any deep web stories?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you do, let us know down in the comments below. I mean, just hearing these puts a chill down my spine.
Yeah.
And I like hearing about stuff like this. I don't like experiencing the dark web, but I like hearing other people's experiences with it.
Yeah. It's kind of like you remember Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. We just gather around the fire, have these crazy stories. They're scary, but they teach you something. And,
yeah.
And that little bit of darkness in us, it just reacts. It reacts to that.
So Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that serves a purpose somewhere.
So yeah, that was Mr. Nightmare. I was gonna say, check out his excuse me, check out his channel. He's got all sorts of creepy stories and everything on there.
Yeah, great voice, great build up.
Yeah, good build up, good, just a lot of good with it. If you like the video, hit that like button. If you wish to see more, let us know. And signing off for the Renegade faction, this is Nate.
And I'm Bo.
And we'll see you later, Internet. Peace out.